Hi everybody, this is Katie Joe with Sovereign Soul Podcast, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about my trip. I just came back from Shasta. So I was in Shasta, California. We went to the Lower, Middle, and Upper Falls. If you've never been there, or heard about what Shasta, California is, it's believed to be this spiritual mecca. It's believed to be this magical land where you can tune into different dimensions, realities, and even access higher consciousness beings by just being there. And so a group of friends and I went there to go and experience and hike and commune with nature and just have an amazing experience. And we ended up hiking to the top of these falls. I think we were at Upper Falls because there's the lower, the middle, the upper. And where Upper Falls is, there's this giant cliff. And there's the safety fence, of course, around the edge of the cliff. And you just see the water cascading down, and the scenery is serene and it's just mystical and magical and majestic. And as we're there, there's a group of 20 something men, and it's always that age frame, right? The 20 to 30 age frame of men. And they're there and they're in just like their cut off jean shorts and stuff like that, stripped down, and they've climbed over the safety fence and they're jumping into the water and they're cliff diving. And I found like it was so interesting to me because I was watching this and watching this like idea of like there I see more so in the masculine side of our population this like fighting the dragon, if you will. They have to like prove themselves at some point, face these challenges. So I was just kind of witnessing that and watching this and seeing them face this fear and jump into the water. And I was also watching as they would like take boulders the size of like footballs and they'd throw it down and they'd see the trajectory of it and they go, okay, that's probably where I'm going to fall, and watch it fall into the water. And then they had one of their guys down at the bottom of the waterfall in case somebody did go down and hit the bottom or hit a rock or break their neck. There was somebody down there to fish them out of the water. And so I watched this and I thought to myself, these are all illusions of safety. Ultimately, you're doing something so dangerous, so risky, but you've put into these, in this scenario, these illusions of risk, right? But all of these guys were just having the time of their life, and people were watching. It was entertaining. Then they came up to the top, and everybody was chatting with them. And even like, so one of the guys even was there, like before, like they're jumping, and there's a group gathering, and he starts to like crowd manage as if he owns the cliff top, and he's crowd managing, and he's like, hey, we're gonna do our next jump in about 5 minutes, just so you know, if you like, so hikers are coming up. And he's like, we're planning our next jump, we're like, it's a professional gig. And um we walked, so it was fun. We hiked, all of us middle-aged ladies, and it was fun. We got a picture with the guys, and they're so cute. And as we're driving home, my two friends that were in the car with me, and we're all like 20 years older than these guys, maybe 30 years even. And they said, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be nice to be a young girl again? Those guys were sure handsome. And I laughed and I said, those are the kind of guys you want to spend a summer with, not the kind of guys you want to spend a lifetime with. And here's where I'm at with this. And I don't mean this in any rudeness. Um, I was married to one of those guys who's the most fun, who's the most carefree, who likes to take risk, who's like always there for the guys. And they're the fun guys, but they're not the responsible ones. And it's not fun when you're married and you end up being the responsible one. It's not fun when you're in charge of making sure all the finances are paid and that money isn't getting spent on mountain bikes or fun things on whims. It's not fun to be the one at home with the kids when they're out having fun because somebody needs to make sure that the little ones are cared for. And to this day, like those fun guys sometimes have the biggest and brightest hearts. And I don't think that any woman needs somebody or partner needs somebody to come in and take care of them. But what I find is that there has to be this balance between life responsibility and taking care of your circle of most important things being your partner, your spouse, your children. There's these responsible things that have to be handled. And most of these guys are going to grow out of that. They're going to face all of these fears and they're going to grow out of that. And I hope that they retain that childlike adventure spirit. But I think my voice and my messages to those partners, usually women, who see that and are enamored by that and recognize like what happens when you always end up with the fun guy who's the cheery guy, who's the adventurous guy, who isn't necessarily aware of the logistics or the realities of life, because the fun ends up being only for them and it's not fun hardly at all if that's what ends up happening. And with that being said, it was sure fun to watch those guys. And I hope that they're all healthy and safe. And I hope that they're just having the time of their life. And maybe if you go out to Shasta, you'll see them there too.